Hey, everybody, this is Jeremy from Jets Chaos. And today we are going to focus on salary cap. It's so complicated. It's so confusing. Nobody understands it. How do I know that nobody understands it? Because I watch people say things that just aren't true all the time. But you know what? I can't really help you that much because I don't understand it because everybody says different things. But if you figure out how to read over the cap and figure out how to use it, maybe you have a chance to figure out and understand salary cap. Now, there might be debates and arguments to whatever is said in this video, and if that's okay if you put it in the chat, and we will address whatever the arguments are. We're not going to argue with you in the chat. We'll make a follow-up video that will take those comments. We're going to read those comments out, and we're going to address those comments. Or we're going to do a live show and let you come into our chat and have a live conversation. Either way, we'll be back right after this. Hey, everybody, we are back, and I want to introduce, we have with us on speaker, Tony, the GM. What's up, Tony?
How are you, bud?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
So I'm watching all these shows, and everybody's saying, let's sign Evans, let's sign Bakhtiari, let's sign Fant, right?
Yeah.
I'd like everybody to explain how to do that.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with the 24 jet salary cap. We have a few moves that we could do that don't create future salary cap issues.
Right.
Let's trade Zach.
Okay, so we're going to trade Zach Wilson. I didn't know it has that option, but okay. I'm going to go into this little arrow, right? And say
Correct.
Trade pre 6-1 or post 6-1.
Let's just do everything pre for now. You don't want to, we don't need to share it over a couple of years. Let's make it simple.
Okay, I'm going to submit that. Did that help us at all?
Okay. Let's cut Uzama.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm all about cutting Uzama.
Let's cut Tomlinson.
We're going to cut him pre, right? Uzama.
Correct. We don't want to go to extra because we already have an issue with the future.
Okay.
We're going to cut Tomlinson.
Okay, now that's the one that people aren't sure the Jets are going to do, but in this case, you want to do it.
We're going to do it just to show how to create cap space.
Okay.
Now, you have restructures that you could do, correct?
Correct.
If you restructure, you want to restructure players that are going to be on your future team. The teams that are restructuring players are restructuring retained talent. They're not restructuring people just to get money. Okay, the whole point of the salary cap is to pay for your players.
Right.
The Jets are the only team that are doing what, Jeremy? They're trying to win with free agency. Mm-hmm. Every other team in the NFL uses the cap differently. The reason the Jets lose is because they're incompetent when it comes to salary cap usage.
Okay.
Is this a valid point, Jeremy?
Well, people are going to challenge that and want you to show why and explain it.
Well, we showed it with the rosters, okay?
Right. Well, we did show that. We did show that we had very few returning players.
Now, here's the thing. In order to restructure contracts, you need to have a restructurable contract. It's very simple. You cannot restructure draft picks. You can't restructure tag players, franchise tag players. You cannot restructure fifth-year option players. Mm-hmm. You only should restructure your second contract retained players or a key player that you sign in free agency. That's the proper way to use the franchise. Every single dollar on the salary cap. If you look at the great teams, that's the way they do it. 49ers, right? Mm-hmm. They traded for 2 quality players. Would you consider McCaffrey a quality player?
Absolutely.
What about their left tackle?
Trent Williams, Hall of Famer.
Right. What are the Jets doing? They're looking at second tier offensive tackles. They're looking at second tier guards. They want to spend $30 million on a 30-something-year-old quarterback. Wide receiver. Correct?
There are people calling for those moves.
Right. It's the thing is that the good teams pay for chemistry and continuity. The Jets pay for mercenaries.
Mm.
That's the issue with the salary cap. Now we're going to start with how much salary cap space do the Jets now have on the top of 24 after those cuts?
31,649,000.
Okay, now that doesn't affect the future. Now my key is 26. Go to 26. Now you got to remember before you go, okay? You need to calculate your draft class on this. It doesn't show. It also doesn't show how many players are on the roster. Look at the bottom. It says 51, I believe. When you're out of season, it only shows the top 51, I believe.
18 under contract.
Oh, no, you're at 26. Go back to 24 real quick.
Okay.
What do you see at the bottom?
That we have players under contract, 52.
Okay, 52. How do we get one? Okay, you have to add another minimum salary because it's not calculated there. This is an out-of-season salary cap. Okay, now you need to, with that $31 million, what do you need to do? You need to sign your draft class.
Right. And
you need to retain your players.
Right.
There's at least 6-7 players you want to know, correct?
Field goal kicker, punter, safety, Ashton Davis, one of our defensive tackles, at minimum, I would think. So,
right.
Yeah,
you're looking probably at 7 players. You also need to fill in the back of your roster. Before you go start looking at Evans and all these other players, okay, the salary cap is fake. You can push money forward, right? That's what everybody says. You need to create more salary cap room.
Right.
That means that you need to restructure every single dollar on that thing. You know where that money goes?
Into the future.
Exactly. Okay? That's not the way to conduct business. The Saints did it to stay in the playoffs, to try to attempt to go back to the playoffs. The Jets are doing it to try to get into the playoffs. It's a big difference. They're shutting their own window before they even get to it.
Mm.
Now, do you agree with everything I've said so far?
You haven't said anything incorrect that I know, that I'm aware of.
Now we understand that we need to make a little bit more space with pushing money forward with restructures. Okay?
Okay.
You're going to do a couple. You need to. Because they need to do something in free agency. Okay? Right. You don't want to go crazy, but you need to at least get a swing tackle, a second wide receiver that's, say you have $15 million to spend. That's what you should be looking for as a GM of the Jets right now. Just to stay, because you already messed it up.
Right.
Now here's the real issue. Go to 26.
Here we are.
First thing you're going to do, you need to cut Aaron Rodgers.
Post or pre? At that point, I think it's
pre, because you got to worry about paying all your big time guys. So for this, the purpose of this, we're going to do it pre.
Okay.
Okay. Just to show the amount. How much is that?
Wow. $35 million.
Okay. For all the Jets fans out there, that's the second biggest dead cap hit in football history. Now, everything that I believe the Saints had a $45 million dead cap hit a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was their highest one. The Jets already have $35 million in one player. there is a lot of other dead cap on there already. There is dead cap there, correct?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Some of the dead cap is CJ Mosley, who was restructured. I mean, Quinnen Williams for right now is going to be playing, I would imagine. So his cap number is 26 million, though. I mean, we would not that we would, but yeah, I mean, he's 26 million unless you wanted to cut him and take a $9 million hit.
No, we're not going to do that. What's going to happen is they're going to have to restructure that contract.
Right.
Okay. So the issue is they already have, I believe, 45 million approximately on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on dead cap money. Now, what the issue is that every transaction they do in 24 is going to go against that cap.
Right. Now, John Franklin Myers is a void year, so that's a $4 million hit.
Correct. There's more on there. It should add up to about 45 million now.
DJ Reed right now is a $3 million hit because he's a void year.
Right.
Alan Lazard, no, okay, he'll be cut, but he won't cost us that much, I don't think.
So you put cut Lazard there. Cut Lazard.
Okay.
Show the dead cap part.
Yeah. Oh, it cost us 4.3. Yeah. So.
Okay, but it's dead cap, correct?
Yeah. It's 4.3
okay, so you're in
dead
the
cap.
mid-40s at least already.
Yeah.
So if the Jets restructure every possible 24 contract, they are up to about 56 million in dead cap.
Yeah. I mean, look, Conklin is a void contract. He's going to cost us 1.3 million.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no way out of it.
So we'll start with.
There's a lot of dead contracts here, void contracts, where we're just losing money.
Now this is before we touched this year. Okay, 24. You have to remember, there's 2 years still coming before that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now we have issues because on that salary cap, we only have 3 starters. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. In 26?
Yeah.
Well, let's look. Is Mosley where he's not going to be playing anymore? Quinnen Williams, 1.
Right.
Franklin Myers, I guess possibly playing still.
How much is he on there?
Well, it's a base salary of 0, so it's a void. I think it's a void contract. I mean,
it is a void. It's a void contract.
So by then we have to have him restructured, or we'd have to be paying him. I mean, so he's not under contract.
Correct.
TJ Reed not under contract. We just won't count him. So we have 1 just Williams so far. Just Williams
and
McDonald, right? Titman. That's 3.
Right.
Hennessy. But I know Hennessy's a long snapper. So, I mean, how much are you really going to consider that? Carter Warren.
He might be. You want to start Carter Warren.
He might be a starter. And then you got Israel Abawanakanda might be our number 2 running back, which we consider a starter, right?
No, I mean, we're talking 22 actual starters, so no.
Okay.
So the issue is, how much salary cap did they spend so far on that year?
Well, right now, with everything we just did, which, I mean, it's dead cap. There's not much more. I can't imagine they would do it any differently. Total liabilities, $86,213,000. Okay,
now we'll be good. Let's restructure Quinnen now.
Okay, do it in for 2024 for 2026?
26.
That means we cannot restructure him this year to help us now, right?
Oh, we could structure him and still do it later on, yes. But we're just going to show it for 26 for this video.
Okay. Because I have a good feeling he might be restructured. So then it's not going to make this even like this will be uglier actually. But let me.
Okay, so now you restructured it.
Hold on, I gotta. Quinnen Williams, we're restructuring. Let me see the restructure. Submit. Base salary 19 million. Okay. Prorated bonuses 1 million. Okay.
Correct. That's fine. Simple restructure, straight through. What do you have now?
Okay, you have 70 million in total liabilities.
Exactly, with 3 starters, correct?
Well, 3 real starters that we know for sure. Yeah, I mean, converse, you
Okay.
never know. But
We only have 8 total players on the roster?
yeah,
Okay. Now, we're going to take the 50-year option for 3 players, Source, GW, and JJ, correct?
yes.
That's $65 million. It went up today. It's going to go up again. So we have 65 and how much? 70?
We have, I mean, we have 70 million in total liabilities, but you have to add 65 if you're going to
Correct.
keep
That's
those players. So it's
135.
135.
Now, those are totally non-restructurable. You cannot touch that. You cannot create anything. Okay?
Right.
The only option you have is to take Rodgers into the 27 also, which will be an absolute disaster because you need to pay all these guys we just mentioned.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's the next thing you got to add. You have the 24 draft class on their 3rd year of salary. You have the 25 draft class on its 2nd year of salary. And you have the 26 draft class.
But that gives us some more. That gives us more players now.
$4 million.
But that gives us more players because right now you said we're at 8. We signed the 3 guys. That puts us at 11 players.
Right. And now here's the thing. For the purpose of this, every single draft pick made the roster, okay? Which you know isn't going to happen, correct?
Right. I mean, but only like let's say on average. I mean, I think it's fair to say 2 to 3 are going to be starters for each year of the draft for the next.
So we're going to do it. Normally it's about 2, okay? But what we're saying is, for the purpose of this, what we're doing now, everyone's making a team. We only have 8 players, correct?
Right.
Or 11 now.
Right.
So we have 21 draft picks, $34 million.
Okay.
Now, what are we up to, Johnny?
How many players is that?
Well, we added 21 and we had
30. So we have 32. We have 32. We have 32 players then.
Okay.
But we're adding how much in money?
We're adding 34 million.
34 million, and we were at 150. So now we're at 184.
No, it wasn't 150, was it? It was 70 and 130 and 65, 135, right?
Right. Oh, okay. 135 plus 30.
34.
Right. So 135. That's 169.
Okay.
So we're at 169 million.
Right.
And we have 32 players.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now we figured out we had 6 starters. Right. We had 3. We added 3. And then we're taking 2 from each draft class. We have 12 starters.
Okay.
You need 10 starters, correct? Right?
You need we have 12 starters, you need 22.
Right. We need 10 more.
Right. So we need 10 more starters. We need 30. We have 32 players. We need 21 more players. 21 more players. 10 of them got to be starters.
Right. Now, those 11 players that are going to be backups, right?
Okay.
For the purpose of this exercise, we're going to give them $1 million each. That's 11 million. We're going to go to the direct, Now, you got to remember, every player on this roster, okay, mm-hmm. for the purpose of this exercise, is getting paid guaranteed money,
mm-hmm.
and they are all minimum contracts.
Okay.
So you cannot restructure, move forward any single dollar on this salary cap.
Okay.
Okay. It's not possible. As I said, the only thing you could do is move Summer Rodgers into 27. So you take the hit over 2 years.
So we got $180 million spent. We need 10 starters. The salary cap right now is $260 million. What is it going to be in 2026?
284, isn't it, in that year, in 26?
Oh, it tells you that. 284. Okay, 284. So that means we have 104 million still. Some would say we're in great shape. Huh?
For 10 starters.
Oh, for 10 starters. So
Okay, now,
$104 million for 10 starters.
now hold on a second, though. Now, we're
Yeah.
not done yet. We didn't start yet.
Mm-hmm.
I said every single player on this roster made the team as a free agent,
Yeah.
as a draft pick,
Yeah.
and every person on our bench, and that is what?
$1 million. Only $1 million.
Right. You're gonna have to add $2 million for the punter and the kicker. I'm sorry, we're signing Morstead and the other guy, right?
Right. So that puts us $100 million.
Okay. Now, here's the thing.
I mean, realistically, there's going to be some backups. People like to have a backup quarterback. They're typically not just $1 million.
No. He's coming from free. This is what the fans want. So this is what we're giving him. You got $100 million, right? Now, here's the issue. Everything that you do in 24 to restructure, to create more salary cap, is coming off that $100 million. All the money we spent so far, you cannot create another dollar from it to sign a player.
Right.
Are you following this concept?
Yes.
Now, what are you supposed to do? Obviously, you have to restructure just a little because they're looking at that huge dead cap back then. They need to do everything within 2 years, 24 and 25. How are you going to pay these players? You can't backload contracts now. You can't add void years to this.
You're going to have
this. You can't do anything with this.
So let's say you have 5 $8 million players. That's $40 million, and you still have 60 left, right?
But that's if we don't do anything the next 2 years, though.
Right. Okay. So right now, if we did nothing, we might be able to pull it off if we're lucky enough to have starters that only, like, if we find starters like that are serviceable, like safeties that are only cost $3 million to $2 million, then we might be able to work it out. We'd be kind of okay.
How are we going to be okay? We don't have everybody on our bench is on a minimum contract, and we're playing all rookies.
No. We just said we have 32. We only need 10 more starters, and we have $100 million.
Right. Now go back to 24.
Like, why can't we get 10 starters that cost about $8 million each?
Now you got to remember one thing.
Yeah.
This does not show out of that $100 million. You did not pay one free agent. You did not retain one player on your team. Okay? That means everybody worked. And that everybody that you signed in 24 and 25 is only on those contracts. They're not going forward into this.
And we don't have a quarterback.
Right. And you don't have a quarterback.
And if you want to get a quarterback, if we don't draft well, if you want to get so people might, when Rodgers leaves, if we don't have a good quarterback, they're all going to scream we have to go out and get a quarterback. Well, Daniel Jones, who nobody would want, costs $40 million in today's market.
Okay, now here's the thing, right? This is really important.
Yeah.
Now you got to go back to 24 and make your move. You want to create space.
Okay.
Okay.
So now everybody wants to do this now. And here we are. We only have 31 million. Right. Everybody's screaming that we got to get Evans and we got to get an offensive lineman. Everybody's screaming that we have to restructure people and get the cap up to like 70 million.
Okay, restructure everybody first off. Okay, that you didn't cut.
Okay, so
start at the top. I think you have to undo the 26 Williams first.
Right, I'm going to undo that, and instead we're going to restructure them now. And everybody wants to do this.
Restructure everybody, Mosley, the whole
right,
thing.
Right. We're going to do what everybody. Right, we're going to do what the fans want. Right, everybody's talking about Franklin Myers needs to be restructured. I hear everybody saying it all the time. Because where's the money going to come from? Right? We got to buy all these players. We need to get offensive line. Are we restructuring Reed?
Everybody. You want the money, right?
Okay. We're not allowed to touch Lazard. We could restructure Conklin.
Correct.
Oh, wait a second. We don't want to cut him. We want to restructure him. Okay, we're not doing anything with Gardner. Not allowed. Quincy Williams, everybody's saying we should restructure. That's good.
You're restructuring them. Everybody.
Right. Everybody wants to restructure him. And everybody's saying he has to be restructured.
Right. We're just going to show them the max they can restructure, basically.
Right. And then, let's see, not Garrett Wilson, not Vera Tucker, not McDonald, not Jermaine Johnson, not Michael Carter II, not
You can't restructure rookie deals.
Yeah, we're not restructuring Wes, Thomas Hennessy. There's really no one else.
Okay, how much money do you have now to spend?
Let's look at it. Oh, it's going to be juicy. $68 million.
How much?
$68 million.
Okay, you didn't miss anybody, right? You didn't do God.
Oh, I think I misdid CJ Mosley. Wait a second. Right, because everybody wants to structure Mosley. Okay, now I did it right. $78 million.
Okay.
And everybody's and everybody is saying, "Oh, we could have like $78 million." So everybody wants to do this.
Right. How much do we have previous?
$31 million.
Right. Where's that money coming from now? That extra money?
I don't know. We just gained.
Push it forward.
We just gained $47 million. So that's got to be somewhere.
Right, exactly.
It's got to be somewhere. Where'd the $47 million go?
It goes up. A lot of it's coming off of our $100 million that you have in 26, and that's also dead cap. It should be over $10 million extra dead cap.
Right now, every genius thinks that we could use all of the $78 million to sign big name wide receiver, offensive tackle.
No, this gets even better. Yet.
We got to sign everybody. We don't have tackles. We don't.
Hold on, though. Okay. Now, out of that, they wanna backload the contract. Okay. So now, who do we have to sign?
Okay.
See, they don't realize the Saints party that they've been having the past 3-4 years. That ship sailed. We're going to show that next.
So nobody wants Whitehead, right? Some people want McGovern for depth. I mean, that's a 50-50 kind of thing. I don't know if we should do it.
Let me tell you something, okay? The 26 roster does not include Reed, JFM, Quincy Williams, Brees Hall, Rucker, AVT, Carter, Sherwood, Zerline, Morstead. Okay? That $100 million, that $90 million now, or whatever we have, has 0 retained players and has rookies playing every. You cannot pay a dollar more, okay? Or else that's also you can't restructure it. Okay?
Okay, so I'm gonna
$1 million backup quarterback.
I'm gonna select the guys and how much it says they're gonna cost right now. Now it's saying that Greg Zuerlein is gonna be $6 million. That's his market value. Do you agree with that?
No.
So how do we do that? How are we gonna be accurate?
We can't afford that anyway. Now, who are we signing out of there first? Out of our guys? Okay,
well, we're gonna
on the 24 roster, our free agents:
Morstead, Zuerlein, Ashton Davis. I mean, you got to bring back either Jefferson or Al Woods or Solomon Thomas. 2 out of the 3, 1 out of the 3. Like, what are you going to do? Bring in all draft picks? Go with all rookies?
No, you need to retain at least 7 players, minimum.
Right.
Okay. How much are you paying these guys?
I mean, it's saying the value for Woods is franchise tender $22 million. No, he can't be that much. Solomon Thomas, they're saying, why are they giving these expensive prices? Franchise tender $24 million, transition tender $19 million. Like, what does that mean?
Oh no, that's if you wanted to If you want to give them the franchise tag or the transition
Oh, screw that. Yeah. We're re-signing them, so we have to do that
tag.
math
You're
on
looking
our.
in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It
That's a
doesn't show
bummer
you.
that it won't let us. Like, it won't do the math for us.
Right. Okay, here's the thing. You need to add in the value of the draft class out of that. Okay, over. It's probably going to be about $6 million. You then have to add probably about $21 million for retaining these guys that you want to retain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're about up to 28. We'll call it an even 30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do we have left?
So you minus 30 because we kept the 7 players we wanted, and that puts us at 48,800,000.
Right.
We paid dearly for this money.
Million.
We paid dearly for this money. Now, by the way, I just want to say, if we only rely on the draft and we don't do any free agency, we didn't have to do any of this restructuring, and we didn't have to hurt 2026.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Out of that 48 million,
okay,
you definitely need a backup quarterback. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. What are you spending? They want Brissett.
Everybody wants Jacoby Brissett. They yelled at me. Oh, Sam Howell, blah, 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 blah. Can't play under pressure. Yeah.
Right. That's $6 million. Now you got to remember, you can't backload these contracts.
Right.
Okay. Let's pay. Who do you want to pay?
Okay, Brissett, $6 million.
Okay. Now you have 42 million. Okay, you can't backload.
Wait, can I do that here? Oh, okay. I don't know. There's probably a way to do it, but I'm keeping track of it. Okay, so we just spent $6 million. We have 42 million left, but hey, we got a backup quarterback.
Right.
Okay.
Now you can't backload, or else it's going to come off of that. If you backload like everybody wants to do, that 26 cap is going to be down to who knows what. Okay. Who are you going to sign? You want to sign Evans for 30 million? 2 years, 60 million. What do you think?
I mean, look, this is what the fans want. Shouldn't we do what they want?
No. Hold on a second, though. We don't have any defensive tackles. We don't have a safety.
Well, we signed 7 guys. We could assume, like, for 30 million. So aren't we allowed to assume that one of them was a safety and one of them was a defensive tackle?
What do you mean?
We just subtracted $30 million. I thought that was because we were retaining 7 players.
No. How many defensive tackles do teams carry?
Well, we have Quinnen Williams, but and we have, I guess, Clemens, and well, he's more edge.
Yeah, you need to get 2 more defensive tackles.
Well, I figure they're going to address one in the draft, so.
Right. You still need to get defensive tackles. You need to get a safety. You need to get another running back.
Yeah, but some of these guys are just going to be role players, cheap.
Right. Oh, yeah, cheap. Right. Everybody, that's exactly right. But you know what? They're coming off dollar for dollar because you cannot backload any more contracts.
Right.
You don't have any more room.
Okay. So tell me how much more to deduct.
You're probably looking at 10 million.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Huh?
And you're going cheap.
Okay, so we go cheap. We fill all the spots that have to be filled, and now we have 32 left.
Right. Now you could go get your free agents, but you got to pay them their true salary. You can't backload contracts.
How come?
Who are you buying?
What do you mean? If you got Evans, how come you can't just do some kind of fancy schmancy?
You don't have room for Evans there, but
why? Why can't we give him $5 million the first year and give him a couple of void years at the end?
Yeah, because when you go up to 26, you're going to be down to like 65 million. Okay, for 10 starters.
But I think people are okay with that. That's what people are saying. They're saying go all in. We'll worry about the future in the future.
But no, you have to understand, you can't restructure anybody under 26 thing. This is all guaranteed money. Okay. They did the Saints one better. Okay. Now, if you look at the roster, now this is the sad part with everybody who wanted Aaron Rodgers, who a few people said directly that it was a moronic move. Okay, you have a $35 million dead cap on that roster right now. You paid for a quarterback when you had no idea who was on your offensive line. That is Jet management. That is Woody Johnson for you. That is why this roster, this team never wins. It is absolutely horrible. Okay? Now try adding void years to that and see what you're looking at when you have to re-sign all of these big-time guys. You don't have Hall, JFM, Reed, Ruckett, AVT, Carter, Sherwood, Sirline, Morstead, okay, on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have one retained player. And that's how much your true money that you really have. It's not arguable, guys. Okay? Mm. The Jets have made themselves into the worst salary cap situation in the NFL. It's that, and you want to keep on going. Let's go get, who's the guard that's out there for $15 million?
Knowles from Denver?
They were talking about
Cam Robinson. There's a few guys that might be around that price range.
Now, to be honest with
you,
that's
tackles. That's tackles. I'm sorry. Guards. Somebody was saying some Zinter guy, not the one from the draft.
15 million.
Yeah, right. Somebody was yelling at me.
Let's backload that contract too and have it hit that 26 cap. Okay. Right. I mean, that's not how you do business. Now you're going to 26. Okay, you need to look real hard. You have to retain somebody, guys.
Well, this is
okay. If they're going to do anything, they need to be signing Carter. They need to be making sure that they're retaining their players. Quincy Williams needs to be on that 2016. Okay, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because look what it looks like now. 2026. Our total liabilities are $104 million. We haven't added the $65 million that Garrett Wilson, that the big three are going to cost if we extend their contracts. So when you add that 65, it's $170 million for 2026. Already. And all you have are the 3 players plus the 11 players.
Right.
You have 11 players.
Okay. In fact, and the thing is, you can't restructure any of that. That's what they're not getting. Now, if you want to really learn about the cap, now here's the thing: you got to look at
plus draft picks. So yeah, we determined we'd have like 20 players, whatever it is, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to need a lot of starters, and it's not looking great. It's looking troublesome.
Exactly, especially when you look forward into the thing. People are going to say, but it's going to go up a couple of $1 million extra than what it's projected to 280 something. It might be 2. It goes up for everybody, guys. Okay.
Look what's already happened to 2027. That went up a lot.
Right, exactly. But the thing is that you can't touch that money. You can't change that. You could renegotiate a deal to push forward more money. That's all you could do. Okay? It's the constant thing. Now, look at the Saints. Could you bring up the Saints salary cap?
Sure. I could do that. Calculator. Let's do this again, but let's do it with the Saints. Okay, 2024. Here we go.
Okay, now, the thing about this is that the Saints, everybody in the NFL pays to retain their guys. Okay? This is why the Jets lose. This is why right now they're riding the coattails of who? Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, Garrett Wilson, Hall, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they are carrying this team. We have superstar talent. And you guys want to build by bringing in over-the-hill mercenaries. You want to get a tackle that nobody wants to be your tackle. Instead of doing a proper move and maybe trading down, for 17 and asking for Cam Robinson, whatever his name is. This is an example. And maybe drafting Powers to be on your offensive line and going low budget on a few players to save your future. You know, you need to add a quality player, not shop the trash to ruin your future. That's why they always think. Now you're on the Saints, right?
Yeah, people are wondering right now, why are we in worse shape than the Saints? Look at their 2026 number of liability.
Okay, but hold on though.
Okay.
Right? Here's the thing though.
Okay.
Go back to 2024.
We're there.
And let's fix the 24 for them. You got to restructure everybody. Now, this is what the Jets want to be, is the Saints.
Right.
Okay? So restructure the Saints and see what you have going forward.
Okay. So they're going to restructure.
Everybody, Jeremy, how much money are they over the cap already?
They are 30 million over. So everybody that we can restructure, we're restructuring because that's what they have no choice to do.
All right. Right. They're going to have to restructure everybody. Here's the thing, though. Read off the names.
Alvin Kamara.
Who drafted him?
They did.
Keep on going.
Cameron Jordan.
Keep on going.
Demario Davis.
He's our guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They signed a quality player. He was a quality player, yes?
Yes.
Right.
Taysom Hill. He has a crazy contract, Taysom Hill. Remember, he's the guy with the crazy contract.
Right,
Let's restructure.
Restructure until you get 20 million over the cap. 20 million of cap space.
Okay. I just want to see. Ooh, it's up to 2. Nice. It's happening. Okay. His base salary is 0. You're not restructuring him. Who's there to restructure? Try Mateo, maybe? Okay. Restructure. Okay. So what are we at? We're at 8 million. Things are happening. Anybody else make any money? Marcus May. I think they cut him already, right?
Did they cut him today?
No. Yeah, I thought they released him. I thought I saw that on Twitter. I thought maybe they didn't. It was somebody else, maybe. I don't know.
If they cut him, they only saved $2 million.
I don't know if they cut him or not. I think that they did, though. I thought that he was. I thought that they said he's to be let go or something. Should I restructure him or cut him?
Yeah, you restructure him then.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We're just looking at the dollars.
Right. Right. As long as we get to the 20 million that they need to get to. Because they have to get to 20 million in order to function. Okay. I just want to make sure there are people left to restructure. Okay.
No, there are people. Their cornerback you can't restructure. And I think Pete you can't restructure. Because that's guaranteed.
Right. Let me look and see if there's anyone. Maybe Shepard.
Yeah, you can restructure Shepard.
Let's see if we got up to any closer. Man, they're 18. They're struggling. Like you're fighting. They're going to have to be doing so much negotiating, so much work to get this to work. It's like stressful.
Right. Now you got to remember, the Jets are only going to have.
Okay, they did it. They got to 21 million.
Okay.
They got.
I believe that's almost the max that they could restructure.
I'm going to undo him because he doesn't make short. He doesn't make sense.
Who?
Okay, Tyrann oh, he did make sense. I'm sorry. He made sense. I'm trying to look. I thought somebody didn't make sense, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Okay, now go look at the 26 roster.
Now it's crazy, dude.
Right. Now you see what they have going on with 24?
Yeah.
Okay, but they still could function as a team
Right.
because they're paying all their starters. They have a ton of starters that they're paying with that money.
Right.
Okay, go to 26. You see all that green?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Okay.
Okay, how much salary cap space do they have?
They have 61,788,000.
Right. Now they have 6 starters. It's the same exact boat as the Jets, basically, except they have, I believe, 3 offensive linemen, 2 edge rushers,
A quarterback.
and
A quarterback.
one other starter on that team. Okay, this is what the Jets are shooting for. That's their goal. This is what they're trying to do. And they already have 2 edge rushers and 3 offensive line starters.
And the important thing that people have to note, it's very hard to do anything right now and save this. I mean, maybe I restructure Carr, but now I'm going to be stuck with Carr for another 2 or 3 years.
I forgot. You're supposed to cut Carr then. Okay, so undo that and cut Carr to show them what that looks like.
This one right here, cut him.
Yeah, cut him.
Cut him pre or post?
You could cut him pre just to show how, because it's only $11 million. Because here's the thing, this is how they're doing their contracts now. Okay, the guys that are remaining on the team don't have high money guaranteed.
Well, they got another problem here that I just noticed. Look at their 2025. They're $53 million over the cap.
And they're going to do the same thing. This is the game that the Jets fans want to play. But these guys are doing it to retain their talent. The Jets are doing it to hire mercenaries. It never works. Okay? Now, this is the actual worst cap in the NFL. After you cut Carr, what do they have?
They're going to have a massive cut fest. They're going to have to cut like 10, 12 of these guys. And just eat
money,
it.
Jeremy. They're paying that money. They're not cutting that money. That's all dead cap in 26.
And there's no way they're going to eat it all this year and do it this year because they didn't get Carr for 1 year.
You cut Carr in 26.
Right. No, I'm saying they didn't get Carr to take one shot. Like they're not going to this offseason just prevent this. They're not going to just start cutting everybody they can cut. Like they're going to restructure. They're not going to cut, right? Because then they have no team.
No. They are cutting Carr in 26.
In 26, but I'm saying, what if somebody argues they're not going to do what we're doing in 2024? They're not going to restructure everybody. They're going to start cleaning it up.
They have to restructure everybody, Jeremy. That's the only way they could get under the cap.
They can cut them all so they don't hurt 2026.
They can't cut them, Jeremy, because they gave them all high-end restrict. In order to do what the Jets want to do this year, they're going to have to guarantee money, okay? Yeah. Nobody is coming here unless they guarantee him money. Okay? Carr, the way they structured all of these contracts, they're going to be out of the hole by 26. After you cut Carr, just cut Carr on 26. See how much money you save. Undo him and then cut him.
Okay. Undo.
He's at the top, correct?
No, he's down here. Undo.
Right. And cut him.
His base salary is $50 million, prorated bonus 11, cap number 61.
Cut him.
Cut you, motherfucker. Okay. But you still, your cap space is now $94 million.
Right.
Still not
what was
great.
The Jets cap space?
For 26?
Yeah.
Remind me.
They're about the same.
About the same. But you're saying they have a lot more players.
Exactly.
Okay.
All those whites, what is that at the bottom?
Right. Okay. So everything that's in white is a player.
Right. And plus some of the greens are still players. You have 5 greens that are players, I believe.
Right.
Okay. They have a much more loaded roster. They have 2 quality edge rushers, and I believe 3 offensive linemen. Okay, they have 3 draft classes to add to that. What do you build with when you build a team? Offensive and defensive line, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In the next 3 years, you think they're drafting the rest of that offensive line?
Well, they'll have it ready. Most of it, yeah.
They're gonna be a top 10 offensive line, I guarantee you, in 26. Okay.
That's all they're gonna do.
Right.
Draft
No,
offensive
but look
line.
at their edge. They got 2 quality edge rushers.
Yeah.
You don't think they're gonna go out and get a top, what you gonna call it? Defensive tackle in a draft?
I suppose so.
Right. They're gonna have a top 10 defensive line and top 10 offensive line. Look at what the Jets are gonna be rolling out. Correct? How many offensive linemen you have? You have Pittman.
Well, I hope we start drafting them. We'll start drafting them too.
Okay, but who has the worst situation in the NFL?
The fact that it even has to be thought and argued, and it's not blatantly obvious, is bad enough.
Right. They're using it wrong.
I mean, even if somebody still insisted the Saints were worse, it doesn't matter. The fact that it's an argument and a conversation is bad enough.
Right. It's not even close. You could only circumvent the cap. You only could do certain things up to a certain time. Okay. But if you're doing it, you need to do it for the right reasons. The Jets are totally doing it for the wrong reasons. Okay. If you look at the highest cap numbers, okay, over the cap of all the teams, the majority of them did one thing. They retained talent and they are in the playoffs. Denver did one thing. What did they do? They brought in the big-time quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Who's the other one who brought in a big-time quarterback? Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened there?
Neither worked out.
Okay, right, exactly. Now, what did the Jets do? They brought in a big-time quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Look what they have in a cap situation. But everybody continues. You can't argue anything on this right now.
I think all it points to is, though, and there are some that are going to say, that's why we're already in a situation where we just have to keep going and go all in and try to make it that we can win the new team.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because if you look at that actual could you bring up the Jets 26 roster again? Is it going to show properly?
Yeah.
It doesn't show all the moves you made, right?
Oh, but no, we already talked about it. We know that there's not going to be a lot of players.
Okay, well, if you're looking at the Jets 26 roster, okay, I hate to break it to you, but if we never traded for Rodgers, you're adding another quality player minimum, right? With the 2 picks, you're adding another starter. You also have an extra $35 million to spend. You could retain 3 or 4 of your guys here.
What if the plan is take our best shot, put our best foot forward for the next 2 years, and then he's planning to make some big trades of a couple of these big name guys instead of paying them, and
that's what's going to end
and
up
getting tons
Jeremy.
of picks and starting over again and rebuilding with tons of picks.
Exactly. Now, do you want to get rid of Sauce Gardner, Jeremy?
No, that's not the one I would trade. But I don't want to get rid of Garrett Wilson, and I don't want to get rid of Brees Hall. So I don't know what to say.
What about Quinnen Williams?
No, and JJ, no.
Okay.
Quinnen would be the one they're getting rid of because he'd be the oldest.
And that's how you want to.
They would they would ship him off. They would ship him off to a team that's contending for a Super Bowl that wants that final piece. That's what would happen to Quinnen Williams. That's what's going to happen. He's going to go somewhere to finish his career that's ready to win a Super Bowl, like the Rams did with Von Miller and Buffalo tried to do with Von Miller. That's what's going to happen, right?
Now, here's the sad part. If they front load these contracts, right, for 24, with all that cap space, whatever cap space that they do create, okay, you're probably looking at another 25, 30 million off of that 26 cap. It's going to be a full rebuild. You closed the perfect opportunity to have a 7-year run at the playoffs. That's exactly what's happening with the New York Jets. And you can't argue it. Okay? There's no other way around it. You're trying to duplicate the Saints, and the Saints did it to stay in the playoffs. It's horrible.
I mean, is it possible that we had the initial plan, and that plan was built on Zach Wilson developing into a franchise quarterback, and we were going to have that 7 to 10-year run or whatever it was, and then the plan B when Zach Wilson failed was, well, the only choice we have left now, or he decided, was we're going to go and we're going to make it the all-in. So it could have been 3 years, but Rodgers got hurt. So it's going to be all in 2 years or bust. And we changed our whole plan because of Zach Wilson. And this is all because of Zach freaking Wilson being a bust.
Okay, the first thing is that only a few Jet YouTubers agreed that the Jets should have traded down in that draft. Okay? Right. Instead of taking Zach Wilson was totally undrafted.
Well, anybody, if there's anyone left in this world that's not in hindsight wishing we traded down, I don't even want to say what should happen to them.
Right.
I mean, give me a break.
We also agree Zach Wilson was undraftable. The next proper move, okay, was to get another quarterback in here, a young kid, okay, and stick with Mike White or one of those guys to continue to build the roster. And if the kid that they brought in didn't develop for another year or so, they could have spent money to get a quarterback in 26. Okay? And they would have had a Super Bowl roster. If you handed the keys to a 26 team that looks like what they have on that paper now, with a couple more additional nice players, and you handed the keys to even a Kirk Cousins, okay, any type of decent quarterback, that they're making a run at the Super Bowl. So we lost out on trying to develop Howell maybe, or any other quarterback like that, and giving them a chance to go with what we got now. It was a bad move.
Well, it can't be argued now. So.
Yeah, but continue to make the same bad moves, Jeremy. And where are we gonna be?
No, I get it. We have an outliers chance to get a championship. It has to be in the next 2 years, and it's unlikely because it just doesn't happen often. You don't patch an offensive line together in 1 year and win a Super Bowl unless it's an incredibly rare outlier season. And I guess that's the best we can hope for. But I think
it's never been done, Jeremy, with a quarterback like that, trading for a quarterback. We already discussed the rosters, right?
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay roster.
Yeah, they were a much different situation.
The Rams roster.
Different situation.
The Manning roster. Manning was there his third year.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the same thing, guys.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Tony. If you have any questions about this, I think, look, there might be someone who has some argument, like when it comes to the calculator. Now, remember, the restructures were just to show the numbers. If they do a different path to do it, it makes no difference. If you take 40, 50 million in a restructure and push it down into the future, it's the same result in 2026. Nothing changes. So it doesn't matter. So I don't want to hear those kind of comments. It's irrelevant. We were just doing that to show that if we were to free up 70 million, this is what it would involve. This is what it would take. So what I'd rather have is, if you think there's an error in what Tony said, then put it in the comments. And if we have to, we'll do a live show. I'll do call-ins on that live show, or you'll be in the chat, and you could pose those questions and Tony will answer them, because we don't want it to be a debate. We want to create an understanding, a reality. So if you have alternatives, there are other things you could do to manipulate the cap that soften this blow and make this not true. Okay, we'll discuss it. We don't have to fight about it. We don't have to debate about it.
One thing.
Yeah.
You cannot restructure a rookie contract.
No,
You
no, no,
have
no.
restructuring.
I know if somebody manages to come up with something that we missed or you missed. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I don't want to debate. I just want to, as a community, understand. Like we want to make sure that everybody understands the truth because there's no reason to debate something that's factual. There's a fact to this and how the salary cap works. It's just the problem is nobody understands it. Very few people truly understand it and its implications. But if you think there are other things that were missed, challenge Tony because he's pretty confident that he covered everything.
Let me
Guys,
tell you something.
yeah.
You also could go read some really good articles on the actual subject on how good GMs actually use the salary cap. The Saints GM actually did what was best for his team to try to stay in relevant, try to win. Because now, looking forward, he already has his rebuild set. He's already set to go forward.
Right.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Tony.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, everybody. I look forward to the comments, look forward to the reaction. I know it's a controversial subject. It's a highly debated subject. I hope we can talk about it without throwing insults, and we can talk about it like gentlemen. So have a great one, guys, and take care. We'll see you next time.